obviously active over the last 5 years, but obviously have had a long historic presence in the RV corridor, and are proud to be a part of its growth.
Beautiful, beautifully done. John, there's a model for you. John Shushan is a lacrosse coach, and on the side he builds buildings. Good morning, John. And tell us what is the Shushan? What are the Shushan companies, and roughly what's your experience in this quarter?
Thank you, Mark, and thanks for another great event. We're a small boutique development company. We're kind of a rounding error between Monday and JBG and others. But we've got about 2.5 million square foot portfolio. We're exclusively focused on the Rosslyn-Boston corridor. Just finished our largest project today, Liberty Center, a 1 million square foot mixed-use project. We just broke ground, believe it or not, in December on another 1.2 million square foot project called Founders Square. Humbled to be here. I thank God every day that we get to do what we do where we do it here in Arlington, and appreciate Mark having us here.
We appreciate you more. Brendan Owen, Vernado Charles E. Smith. We thought you were just Crystal City. What are you doing here?
I'm here to rename the RV corridor the RBC corridor, to put Crystal City right in there with it.
Clarendon, the C is Clarendon.
I say Crystal, RBCC. But I'm the Chief Leasing Officer for Vornado. We have 20 million feet that we own and manage here in Metro DC. Principal holdings are in Crystal City, where we have about 8 million feet. And just waiting for the market to improve so that we can get in the ground and do some development. Right now we're just trying to lease what we have, and have done a pretty good job with that. We're 95% leased in that 20 million feet, which we feel good about, and I think things will turn here by the end of the year.
Chris Ballard is here to keep us in perspective. I mean, people do actually live and play besides work. You know, you'd think it's just office, office, office with these other people. Chris is like Mr. Residential. Tell us, good morning, Chris, and what's up?
Well, our firm primarily handles project development sales. Condominiums is about 95% of our mix. Right now we have 44 properties that we're managing up and down the East Coast, about 2,500 units. And our connection to the corridor is fairly deep with JBG and others. In 10 years, we've done probably 15 of the 22, 23 condominiums that have been built in this market.
JBG, you may not know this, the B stands for Brian Coulter. He's like one of their biggest muckety-mucks these days. Good morning, Brian. What's JBG? Well, we heard a little about JBG already, but tell us, give us the stats.
One, obviously, that's not true. I'm the C in company. Actually, we have, this year is our 50th year in existence, so started back in 1960. So we've been at, the company's been at this a very long time. The RV corridor is an area where we have a tendency to focus on really big, complicated jobs, and generally speaking, the projects we go after in the RV corridor still, in terms of being big and complicated. Mixed-use developer as well as owner and investor, we have dedicated sources of capital through discretionary funds that we've raised. We've actually just closed our 7th fund, which is just under $600 million, primarily made up of endowments, foundations, and high net worth individuals. So we're really well capitalized, and even though things are much slower out there right now, we're continually on the prowl looking for new opportunities. Most of them are not development oriented near term right now, but we're even in many instances looking at getting things ready for the recovery. So I'm sure we'll spend a little more time talking about that.
Thanks, Brian. Peter Burke, Cushman & Wakefield is the 800-pound, it's not just the 800-pound gorilla, it's like the 800-year-old gorilla. You guys have been walking up and down this corridor, being the dominant, you've been a big deal here for a long, long time. Good morning, Peter. How many years have you and Dave been the people, the brokers here that rule, the ruling brokers here?
Well, good question. And in preparing for this, I was going back through some statistics over the last 25 years, long time, which means I'm old. But we've leased, and/or the company, Cushman & Wakefield, has managed properties, but specifically we've leased about 4.1 million square feet of space for owners and some tenants as well. We do a fair amount of tenant representation, but it encompasses, I want to say, 23 or 4 different buildings. About a half of those were ground up, new leasing developments, and then some kind of releasing for clients, institutional owners, etc. But Cushman really has been a pleasure to be at. We're the largest privately owned full-service commercial real estate brokerage and real estate services firm in the world. So we figured last year we did about a fairly even mix of 50% agency work, 50% tenant work throughout the DC region, but the forte, at least in my career, has been in this quarter. The only other thing I'll say is, because there's a history with me and John Shushan going way back, and in addition to John being a client, a little known fact is he was a football coach of mine, so I'm not going to say anything to upset him, because I'm in no shape to win sprints anymore.
Before we get to Nan, did you guys all get your bottles of water? Did you get a bottle of water? Everybody got one? Because okay? Last chance.
You're not going to call me today from your town.
No, ma'am. Nan Walch, the great Walch Colucci law firm. Did I say that right? Colucci. Nan, better from the horse's mouth. What's good morning, and thank you for doing this. You're going to take over in a second, but what's been your practice area, specialty, involvement in RV?
I'm with the firm of Walch Colucci, Emmerich and Walsh. Is our office manager here, Lou Haley? Hi, Lou. Lou told me to make sure I mention that we are the land lawyers of Northern Virginia.
The land lawyers.
I've been with my firm since I graduated from law school, which was a little over 25 years ago, same law firm, and I've dedicated my legal practice to land use and zoning and RV.
Thank you very much, Nan Walch. You're going to take over because she really knows this subject and this area. Thank you again.
Thanks.